सिन्धुभ्य च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita discussion on the Sarartha Varshini Tika, which is the commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And the sub-commentary to Sarartha Varshini is the Rasikaranjan commentary by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We have been discussing the 18th chapter, and up till now, we have discussed these two sections, Karma Yoga verses 1 to 12, and the Gyan of the Karma Yogi, first 5 factors of action. So I'll just recap because Krishna is summarizing everything. Arjuna basically begins with this question: what is the difference between sannyas and tyag? And this is inspiration comes from Rishikesh. Of course, the whole discussion, if you see the connection is between the 17th and the 18th chapter, where the sannyasi does yajnadana tapa by offering it to the absolute truth, Om Tat Sat. So in that sense, he wants to know that. But it is all connected to 3.1 to 5.1 and now, 18.1. So this is speaking about a sannyasi who's still acting or performing karma yoga. This also you should understand. But it is very advanced stage. Just like, in the Bhagavad Gita, anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha. Uh, Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriya. So even in the Ashtanga Yoga, the sannyasi is still performing karma. So this is a very advanced level of discussion which is happening between what is the difference between sannyas and tyag. And we discussed this. Yesterday I did the recap also. Uh, a sannyasi gives up kama karma, whereas the tyagi does nitya karma and kama karma, but he gives up the fruits, sarva karma phala tyag. So that is the difference. We saw that. Sannyasi gives up kama karma, not nitya karma. A tyagi gives up both nitya and kama karma, but without, they do both nitya and kama karma, but without attachment. Or it should be without. Okay, so yesterday we saw this, day before also we saw this. And then Krishna goes on to, uh, some say that one should give up all karma because there is dosha. But then others say that yajnadana tapa karma na tyajam. There are others who say. So now he says he will give his opinion, but this tyag is there is of three types: sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic, because he has spoken about the three modes. So he speaks about this tyag in three modes. But then he first gives uh, his opinion. Yajnadana tapa karma na tyajam karyameva tat, because yajnadana tapa pavanani manishina. So that's what he gives. And how one should do? He should do these activities with sangam tektva falani and kartavyani iti me. Yeah, this is his, he should do it as his duty and sangam tektva. So Sangam Tekva is here a deeper understanding is with the without the misconception of being a doer. So this is a very high level of discussion which is happening, and he speaks about Tyag in Tamas, then Tyag in Rajas, and Tyag in Sattva. So this is what we saw also, you know, and a Tyagi in Sattva is devoid of doubt, Chinna Samshaya, does not hate uncomfortable duties, na dveshtiti akushalam karma, nor prefers comfortable duties. Kushale na anusajjati. So like that, we discussed. So Tyag is done for purification and illumination. We saw that. Now, Krishna makes a very important point that one who is embodied, Deha Brata, one cannot give up karma altogether, asheshata. You know. But one who he cannot give up karma altogether, but he can completely give to karma phala tyag. You know. And only one who does that is a tyagi. So that is what Krishna makes a point. And then if you don't do that, then there are three fruits. Anishtam, Ishtam, Mishram. Anishtam means, suffering, hellish. Ishtam means Swarga. Mishram means, it's human birth, the middle planetary systems. So we saw this also. And then the Gyan of the Karma Yoga, summarizing chapters 13 to 18. In fact, you need not say it is summarizing chapters 13 to 18. In fact, it summarizes even chapters 1 to 6 also. Or you can say 2 to 6. The Gyan of, because the factors of action uh, is all, the five factors of action is Krishna has spoken about it uh, in 2.47, and then he has spoken in the three doors 5.13 to 15, and uh, pointed out 13.17. Let's see 13.17. Oh, why 13.17 has come here? 18.17, I think it is. Okay, anyway. So he has been given this gyan of these three doors. So now he is going to speak more in detail that there are these five factors, karanani, nibodame, sankhye, krita ante proktani. So I will now, mention based on the philosophy of Vedanta, by which there is complete destruction of karma, krita ante. And then we saw this verse, uh, अधिष्ठानं तथा कर्ता करणं च पृथक् वदा विविधश्च करणं च पृथक् विधं विविधश्च पृथक् चेष्टा दैवं चैवात्र पंचमम. So these are the five factors in action, five factors which cause action. We have seen this five factors of action. Okay. And then we saw that these five are the causes, hetu of all actions, tasya karma, both dharmic and adharmic, that man performs with his body, mind, and words. Sharirvan Manopir. Uh, though these five are the causes of action, tatra evam sati, the unintelligent fool, who, because of not attaining that knowledge, akrit buddhitvat, sees only himself as the rule. Pashyati atmanam kevalam kartaram, does not see. Sa na pashyati. So because of ahankar, vimudatma, he thinks he is karta aham. I am only one who is doing karta aham. This is ahankar. He doesn't see that there is prakriti, which is under the control of the Lord, which sanctions, and the Lord who is the ultimate sanction. He doesn't see that. And then he who does not think he is a doer, yasya na ahankrita bhava, and is not attached to the actions, thinking them good or bad, buddhi yasya na lipate, does not kill all these. Sa imam lokan nahanti, even though he kills them. Atvapi, and is not contaminated by killing. Na nibadate. So Krishna about the battlefield, uh, it's a context in the Bhagavad Gita, and the message itself is that, not that Bhagavad Gita, after understanding, you should fight a war. And that's not it's a context basically, which happened. And having this kind of extreme view of the extremist is not right, because very few times Krishna is referred to the battlefield. If you see the verses, we discussed all this. So now we are going to come to the second part, the Gyan of the Karma Yogi, the modes control all activities. So please try to hear this attentively and try to understand. And Bir Kushbu is not there today because yesterday what he asked provoked me to go deeper. Although I made that point and now it got more clarified. So I just wanted to explain that also. I will take up that. So let's see this section, the Gyan of the Karma Yogi, 2, the modes control all activities. ज्ञानं गेहं परिज्ञाता त्रिविधं कर्म चोदना कर्णं कर्म कर्तेति त्रिविधः कर्म संग्रह. So there are 5 factors of action which Krishna spoke in 18.14. There is 5 factors of action, hetava, causes of action. So there are these 5 we saw. There is adhisthana, the place, karta, the doer, adhishtan tata karta, karanam. There is cheshta and there is daiva. The doer and the senses, the various senses, and the endeavor with the various senses. And then there is a super soul. Now, what further the Gyan of the Karma Yogi is further explained here. And please try to understand this verse. This is not easily understood. In fact, Bhagavad Gita, something mystical is 1.1, 2.2, 3.3, 4.4, 5.5, 6.6, 7.7, 8.8, 9.9, 10.10, 11.11, like that, 18.18. All are some of the critical verses, and Bhagavad Gita 12.12 also is one of the most difficult verses. So, Jnanam, one, Gayam, knowledge, object of knowledge, Parigyata is knower. So, let's see what it says. The rules for action are Trivida Karma Chodana. Karma Chodana is rules for action or the inspiration for action. That's what Prabhupada says also. Chodana means impetus or inspiration. So the rules of action are the process of knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower. So the process of knowledge here is Jnanam. The object of knowledge is Gayam. And the knower is Parigyata. Okay. So for any action to happen, that inspiration will come from 3 things: Jnanam, Gayam, Parigyata. And the factors and performance of action. So once you get the inspiration for doing action, then the action has to be performed. So for the performance of the action, there is Trivida Karma Sangra. There are 3 things, are are what? There is the instrument, Karanam, there is the object, Karma, and there is the Karta, the doer. Let's try to understand. This is Karma and this is Karanam. Karnam are the senses. Hmm. So let's try to understand this verse before we go into Vishnu Thakur's verse. Jnanam geham parigyata trivida karma chodana. Chodana means impetus or inspiration, as I mentioned. What are that is involved in action? What are these three things? That is jnanam, gayam, parigata. The knowledge, the objective of knowledge, and the knower. Say a person sees some thief entering his home late in the night. So when a person, like the owner, sees a thief, you know, so moment there is this object of knowledge, gayam, is object of knowledge, and then there is knowledge itself, jnana, and there is the parigyata, the knower. Okay. So the knower comes to know he is a thief. He gets that knowledge that this person is a thief. He gets that sense. And seeing what? The object. That because his object of knowledge is this person. So when say a person sees some thief entering his home at him at night, that time there is jnanam, gayam, parigata. The three things are there. Moment you come to know there is that object, oh, he's a thief, and you have got that knowledge, and you have realized, you have come to know, gyata, there is a knower. You understand from incident. There is knowledge, knower, and the object of knowledge. Parigyata is the person who is the knower, who wants who wants to be the knower. Gyan is the process of knowledge. He understands that by that. And then there is Gya, the object of knowledge. So Jnanam, Gayam, Parigata, these are the three factors for action. So the moment he understands this, then he has to do certain karma. So these three are Trivida Karma Chodana. All three are impetus for doing karma. And the karma is what now? Karma is maybe he will take a stick or he'll take a rod or he'll take a knife because he's worried that he might come and attack me. So he will do all this. So there is karanam, instruments, and there is karma. Karma is the action he's going to do. He's going to run and chase him or shout or yell, And there's the karta, the doer. So like that. So there is all these ultimately this is karma sangraha. Karma sangraha. So it's learn. Karanam karma karma karteti trividha karma sangraha. Karanam is the instrument by which action is done. No? So you might take a rod or a stick or whatever it is. Karma is the action and the karta is the doer. Karma is the action itself and the karta is the doer. Now see this example. Say if a person wanted to be an eloquent speaker, then the person has to be there. Karta has to be there. Voice has to be there. Voice is the instrument. And the person has to speak. So can you identify in this three now? Uh, what is Karanam, Karma, and Karta? Okay, let us see who will do that. Okay, who has raised a hand? I did not see. Uh, okay, Sri Lalita Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So,
Mm.
Karanam, but the instrument is the voice, and karma or the action is the speaker speaking several times. And the karta is the speaker, the person who wants to be the speaker, eloquent speaker.
Okay. So he is the Karta,
Yeah,
and the voice is what?
Karanam.
not karanam. Karanam, instrument. And the person has to speak. This is karma.
Kart.
Okay.
Yeah, karma.
Okay. And the
Yeah,
person speaks several times, and by that he becomes a good speaker. So you understand, na? So this
yeah.
karanam, karma, karmeti, trivida, karma. So uh, these three become what? Uh, for this, there is the impetus to do action, and there are actions. Please understand the difference between these two. There is the impetus, it's karma chodana, which is called, and there is action itself. Based on the impetus, you do actions. Within the action, there is karanam, there is karta, and there is the karma itself. And this impetus will come because of three things: jnanam, geyam, and parigyata. Sorry, I hope you got this. Karanam karma karteti trivida karma sangraha. These three are the components of action. Please remember, they are the components. Trivida karma sangraha. All these three together are there as components of action. Okay, fine. So now yesterday I made that point, but I still got more clarity how to connect the three doers with the five factors for action. Yesterday, our Bir Krishna had asked, today is not there. So there is further analysis. Now, again, this can be analyzed in terms of three basic factors that exist: Jiva, Jagat, and Jagadish. How this is related to 1814? 1814, there are five factors related with three factors of action. So there is the Jivatma, there is Prakriti, and then there is the sanction of the super soul. So there are these three things, which three doors we spoke yesterday in 5.13, 14, and 15. The Jiva desires, Ishwar sanctions, and Prakriti executes. So the Jiva is Karta, Ishwar is Daiva, Prakriti is Adhishtan and Karna. Now, yesterday I was still wondering now, how do we chesta, chesta, because chesta is done by the living being. So I could not figure out, where do we put that? But this I was clear. But Prakriti can be referred as body and senses within the body. So Jiva plus Prakriti is chesta. Chesta is the endeavor, which is the combination of Jiva and Prakriti. That's why a living entity means the soul with the body is a living entity. Jiva endeavors through the body without body. Now, to that example, yesterday I was speaking about the farmer. You know, he tills the land. He tills the land. So this is the Jiva. He has a desire to grow crops, and this is the Prakriti, which is Jagat, and then there is the Jagadishwar, the clouds, ultimately. So within this three also there are five, if you see. There is the endeavor, which is a combination of the Jiva and the Prakriti, and then there is the Prakriti is the various senses he uses. Chesta is the endeavor, huh? Please remember. There is difference between Chesta and Karna. You know. Chesta is the I was speaking about yesterday in the batting, the all the endeavors he does for 20 years, net practice, all the practice. So his endeavors, for cultivation, all that, And plus he uses his senses, all that. That is. So I hope it became much more clear now. So Krishna is speaking about six elements. Jnanam, Geham, Parigyata. Jnanam is knowledge. Ge is that which is to be known as an impetus for action. And that which is to be known. And Parigyata is the knower. The knower is actually the Jiva only. You know. And you can little bit connect to this to, Kshetragya. Please understand that these two are not there. The analysis was quite different. Kshetragya, Jnana, Gehyam. So Jnana and Geh had also come there. But here the analysis is a little different based on, action. What is the impetus for action? And what are the components of action? And analysis of action has been done here. So there it is analysis, it is more of matter and spirit there. But they are similar terms, Parigata. And Karnam, Karma, and Karta, Trivida, Karma, Sangra. So all these constitute action. Now, what Krishna is going to do in the next verse is what I marked here, and Parigyata and Karta, are equated to one. You know, so he, Parigyata, and then Karnam and Geham. You know, this this one and Geha. These are both matter. I'll come to that. So like that, then only three will remain. So there is and now the analysis will done based on know, there is the karta, the knowledge in three modes, and then there is karta is there, and then there is jnana and geha. Jnana we have taken. Ge and Karanam is together. So there is karma. I think that is, yeah, jnana, karma, and karta. Yes. So that's how Krishna is in the next verse going to only, analyze within the three modes, these karta in the three modes, jnana in the three modes, karma in the three modes. Okay. So I hope now this is clear. And if you have any questions on this concepts, we can take it up now. And then I will go to the verse, what Vishnu Shankar Thakur is trying to say here. It is first he gives a bhakti perspective and then he goes into the actual analysis. Yes, Navneet Kalra Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. So,
Yes,
Gayam here in your example would be the desire to be an eloquent speaker.
correct. That's your
And
object.
yeah. And secondly, the Gayam which you were saying, now the super soul is not the knower in this current discussion.
No, no,
It's
no.
just the
Super soul is
doer.
not. Super soul is not the parigyata.
Yeah, Parigyata.
No, super soul is not.
Because because the Kshetranagya, there were the two knowers there. So here in
Yeah,
this
that is what
context,
I
it's
said.
just the yeah.
That is what I made the point. Please don't try to equate that to parigyata to kshetragya. They are completely two different concepts.
Okay.
Uh, no. But parigyata is knower. You know.
That's the jiva, the soul
Uh,
which is desiring.
uh,
Okay.
Again here, more, in fact, you can say uh, it's karma here. The karta is, the jiva, but still, when you're doing karma, I'll just give you one example, know, to understand this. Suppose you are a businessman by nature, and you have that stimulus within you because that's your nature. And when an object comes in front of you, you know, so what happens is there is an interaction. Now you have to understand this now, that you see that object, Gaya, and then you understand Jnanam, what? That, I can do business, uh, with this particular object. And then there is what? There is Jnanam,
Action.
there is Parigyata, and then there is a game. And based on these three things, now you get the inspiration. Now let me start working on it. Let me, design the whole thing, make a project, start selling this in the market. So all this is happening, all these actions are instigated by from coming from where? Karma means it is coming from Sabhava. Are you getting this point?
Oh, okay.
Are you getting this point? Now, something, good you discuss this. Now, something, Vishwanath Thakur will bring out that how bhakti. Now, you see a pure devotee, he's spiritual. And just seeing him, there is Gayam, there is Jnana, and there is Parigyata. Oh, Parigyata. So just seeing him suddenly, you get an impetus, you know, oh, you get an impetus to go and serve him. This is what? This is bhakti.
Mm.
And this is coming because this soul is elevated and this is inspiring, the soul. There is stimulus in the soul. And these activities which are done by this person, these activities, although whether he knows or not, does not know, is bhakti. Because bhakti is completely spiritual. Are you getting this point?
So you're saying even the game can invoke a desire in the doer,
This
parigyata.
object now in the karma process, this karma process is matter. And no, I mentioned that,
Yeah.
you know, it's about,
Yeah.
giving a good speech, or you see, you have heard that standard story, a businessman, had gone to
Yeah.
a crematorium and wood is being burnt. So seeing that, he thought, oh, I can do so much business. There is so much profit in this. So that object is matter. But
Mm.
when the object is a spiritual substance, like a pure devotee, as I'm mentioning, it's spiritual, then the
Mm.
impetus, what he gets to do actions, karma, those impetus, what are karma, those actions are bhakti. That's my point. Whether he
Okay.
knows or doesn't, he does some seva to the sadhu, you know, because of this
Mm.
mahat kripa, you can say, he does
Yeah.
seva, mahat seva. So
Yeah.
then there is the bhakti lata actually, which is there, and that stool is stimulated to do actions, and these actions are not actions; they are actions of bhakti, which is purely spiritual. But in karma, it is coming from the swabhava, the
Okay.
actions, and that's why it is karma yoga only. Are you getting the difference?
Yeah. In a matter like normal karmic interactions, whatever the soul is desiring is coming from the svabhava, but in
Sabhava.
bhakti,
Yes. Yes, coming from the
but it,
Sabha.
but in bhakti, like if the object is bhakti, the object or the game that can influence you to take actions which are not coming from your sabhava, but it's coming from a higher realm.
No, it need not be. It might even in the while practicing bhakti, it might be coming from your sabhava. That sabhava you're devoting bhakti in order to purify your sabhava. That also can be the
Okay.
case.
Okay.
At a higher level, if that it is coming from Krishna, then that's a very, 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 very exalted. It's Krishna's desire, and Prabhupada said, that Bhaktisiddhanta Sarada Thakur repeatedly came in his dream and told him to
Yeah.
take sannyas. So that inspired him
No,
to take sannyas. Otherwise, Prabhupada was not so keen to take sannyas. Fact, you know.
but
So
at
that
our
is,
but at our level, I'm taking it as devotees or sadhu sangha, which we are doing even right now, right? That
uh,
this also is an action.
this is also
So
like, but this is more inspired to take up to bhakti and advance in bhakti.
okay.
But I am speaking, like something like
Yeah.
from a trans-phenomenal perspective.
Yeah.
That
That is
yeah,
beyond my
that
every
is quite
reach also,
different.
Prabhuji.
That these are all inspirations for us to move towards bhakti, but at a higher level, I'm just giving another example for an elevated devotee, seeing material things will give him spiritual stimulus.
Mm.
And he will invoke rasa in him. That's at a very high level. That's what all is
Mm.
about Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, so we'll go back to the discussion. I hope this at least this analysis of this, what is Jnanam, Geyam, Parigyata,
Mm.
Trivida Karma Chodana, and Karanam, Karma, Kartreti, Trivida Karma Sangraha. Components of action. These are three things, and there are three uh, what? There are three things involved in action. For action, there is Jnana, Geyam, and the Parigyata. You know? Okay. So there are these three
Yes.
factors of action, and there are three what?
Practice of action.
Three components of action.
Sangra.
Sangra,
Karma
Karma Sangra.
Sangra.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhupada completely he doesn't go into so much deep analysis, but he directly gives an, understanding. Knowledge, objective of knowledge, knower. Trivida karma, chodana, impetus, he says. And karanam, senses, work, the work karma, and the karta, doer. Trivida, karma, sangra, accumulation, all these three. Hmm. All these three, you're doing action with your senses and you are doing it. There is the action also what you're doing, the karma. you know. So Prabhupada says there are three kinds of impetus for daily work. So there are three kinds of impetus, he says. Knowledge, object of the instruments of work, the work itself, and the worker. The instruments of work are karanam, the work itself is karma, and the worker are called the constituents of work. So that's how Prabhupada technically makes it constituent. So then Prabhupada says any work done by human being has these elements. So there are these six elements. Before one acts, there is some impetus, which is called inspiration. Initialization arrived at before work, which is actualized in the subtle form of work. Then work takes a form of action. First, one has to undergo a psychological process of thinking, feeling, and will, and that is called impetus. The inspiration to work is the same if it comes from scripture or from the instructions of the spiritual master. So Prabhupada is directly, speaking about Vaidhi Bhakti, which we can do. When the inspiration is there and the worker is there, then actual activity takes place with the help of the senses, including the mind, which is center of all senses. The sum total of all these constituents of activity is called accumulation of work. That's it. Prabhupada keeps it very simple. Okay, now let's see what we have understood also how this 18.14 is understood by these five factors, how they are related to three factors of action. You know, we have seen that. So now let's come to Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary. The Sattvic Tyag or Sannyas, just described and approved by the Lord, is for Gyanis. So the Sattvic Tyag is for the Gyanis. The Bhaktas, however, reject Karma Yoga by its very nature. The Bhaktas reject Karma Yoga. In 11th canto of the Bhagavatam, it is said, Ajnaneva gunan doshan mayadishtan api swakan dharman santajya yah sarvan mam bhajet sacha sattaman. He perfectly understands that the ordinary religious duties prescribed by me, mayadishtan api swakan, in various scriptures possess favorable qualities that purify the performer. And he knows that neglect of such duties constitutes a discrepancy in one's life. Agya eva gunan doshan. If he does not follow this, it is the karma scriptures. Having taken complete shelter at my lotus feet, dharman santajeya sarvan. However, a saintly person ultimately renounces such ordinary duties and worships me alone. Mam bhajet. He is thus considered to be the best among all living entities. Sa cha sattama. So that means he gives up the dharma of varnashram and performs the dharma of bhakti. Sarva bhatarman parityaja mam ekam sharanam. So, although he gives up this dharma which purifies, which has quality, which purifies the performer, but still he is not at fault because ultimately he is performing a higher dharma. And that's why Krishna is saying, what? He is the best among all living beings. Sacha Sattama. Sridhar Swami has explained the meaning of Bhagavatam verse as follows. He who is giving up his duties prescribed by me in the form of Vedas and worships me is the best. You know, Agyaneva Gunan Doshan. Sacha Sattama. Mam Bhajet Sacha Sattama. Is not such a person ignorant or an atheist? No, though knowing that following the principles of Dharma is good qualities like purification, and on the other hand, knowing the sin of not following Dharma. If you don't follow that Dharma, you'll get sin. He gives up these practices with a firm conviction that just by being my devotee, all will be accomplished, as these other things cause distraction to meditation upon me. So he gives up these all these distractions, karma, and he just takes up to exclusive bhakti. Giving up dharma in the verse does not mean mere giving up the results of those practice. It should be understood that there is no loss at all in giving up the results of those practices. The meaning is this: understanding the statements of Bhagavatam and the explanation of the commentary requires purity of consciousness. So this I was making the point that, as we study the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, there is a higher and higher understanding will come with the purity of consciousness. In proportion to the degree of purification of the heart by Nishkam Karma, there will be awakening of knowledge. There is no other way. So, to the degree the heart gets purified by Nishkam Karma, we saw that Nishkam Karma begins with knowledge, gyan, that I should not desire the fruits because then I will be bound. I will not realize the self. It will cause more thickening of the soul with the body, conditioning. So, with this knowledge, it begins, and then with the gradual purification of the heart, there is awakening of Gyan. So this is what is in the Nishkam Karma Yoga. There is no other way. Thus, for attaining the awakening of knowledge, even the sannyas must perform Karma Yoga. So this, that's why Arjuna began his question, what is the difference between Tyag and sannyas? Because even the sannyasis have to perform Karma Yoga. However, such karma is no longer necessary for those who have attained complete purification of the heart by such karma. So when there is complete purification of the heart, then there is no need of such karma. Just like even in Ashtanga Yoga, we saw in Bhagavad Gita 6.3, Aruruksho Muni Rogam karma karanam uchyate. So he performs karma yoga because that is the means of purification. And yoga rudasya seva shama karana uchyate. So there, he can give up karma here. He can give up karma when he goes to the yoga ruda stage. I think it is 6.3 or 6.4. Let me see. It is, I think. It's 6.3 only, yes. So karma is the means for elevation in Ashtanga Yoga, Aruruksha Munir Yoga, karma. So similarly for a sannyasi, he should know the heart. Oh, I did not know it is there. Aruruksha Munir Yogam karma karanam uchyate yoga rudasya taseva shama karanam uchyate yastu atmaretireva. There is no. Okay, sorry, there was some connection issue. So now the glory of the path of bhakti, Vishnu Chakra Thakur is trying to bring out. So in the process of karma, to elevate and take sannyas, ultimately, there has to be purification of the heart. But in bhakti, being independent, supreme, and most powerful, does not rely on the purification of the heart. Bhakti, even with the unpurified heart, you can practice. And he quotes this, Vikriditam Vrajavadubhir idam cha Vishnu Shraddhayanvitoya Shunayad Ata Varnayetyah Bhaktim Param Bhagavati Pratilabhya Kamam Hridrogama Shapinoti Chirena Dhira. Anyone who faithfully hears or describes the Lord's playful affairs with the young gopis of Vrindavan will attain the Lord's pure devotional service. Thus, he quickly becomes sober and conquers lust, the disease of the heart. Supreme Bhakti enters from the beginning of practice, sadhana Bhakti, into a person afflicted with material disease, which causes suffering and removes lust and other impurities. So, this is the glory of Bhakti. Pravishta Karnarandrena Swanam Bhava Sarovraham Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna Shalilas Yata Sharad. The sound incarnation of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Soul, Srimad Bhagavatam, enters the heart, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and thus cleanses the dust of material such as lust, anger, and hankering. Thus it acts like the autumnal rains upon pools of muddy water. So the purification happens by the process of bhakti. But for a person, he has to undergo Nishkam Karma Yoga, and then he can take sannyas and then further purification, and then there is a gyan, has to be awakening of gyan. But the bhakti process, there is no need of such. Thus, if bhakti alone can purify the heart in such a way, why should devotees perform prescribed duties? So the prescribed duties are done for purification of the heart. Otherwise, if you are not doing a prescribed duties, then you will incur sin. But bhakti can purify the heart. So there is no need of doing prescribed duties. So this is, tektva sadharmam charnam bhujer hare, Now, having established this glory, now Vishnu Chakra Thakur does the analysis of this. Now let us get back to the text at hand. Vishnu Chakra Thakur is trying to bring out the glory of bhakti, how, it can purify the heart of somebody who's afflicted by lust because bhakti has entered. So bhakti can stay, bhakti Devi can stay in the heart, and the sadhaka is practicing sadhana bhakti, and he, and purify his heart. He need not, take up to doing prescribed duties and undergo purification of that. He can give up that also. Now he comes to the verse of discussion. The process of knowledge means to do acts with understanding that one is different from the body. So here now, we gave some examples to understand those concepts, jnanam, gyam, parigyata. But here, within the context of karma yoga, so jnanam means to understand that one is different from the body. The object of knowledge, gyam, is the whole subject of atma. That is the thing to be known, realized, right? The shelter of such knowledge is a jnani, the knower, parigyata. But this is not all. So there is jnanam, gyam, parigyata. These three are related to action. These should be understood by a sannyasi. The verse explains this. The word chodhana means rule. So here, Vishwanath Thakur says rule, because he has to follow these. The learned say that chodhana means teaching or rule. The first of the verses explained in the second half as follows. Knowledge literally means that by which something is known. Knowledge, jnana, is the means of action or instrumental case, karanam. So knowledge, after you know, then you have to act and you need karanas. Since what is to be known, gayam, jivatmataman, is the object of action, knowing. You have to know vibhaktis, which even I am not familiar. The knower parigyata is the subject, karta, or the nominative case. So there is the parigyata, who is karta, and I mentioned, although there are the six, parigyata and karta are the same, and then there is, jnanam, gayam. Gayam means, uh, the thing what is to be known, and the action, means of action, the karanam. So they are taken together, I mentioned. And there is a karma. These, the instrumental, the accusative, and the nominative, are the three factors in bringing about action, trividam. So karanam, karma, and the uh, uh, karta, the karta. Karanam, karma, and karta. I hope this is clear, because if you know the vibhakti, then it becomes still more deeper understanding. But this is karanam. Kayena manasa buddhya. Manasa means the instrument of mind, like that. So it is in a kayena manasa. Manasa is the instrumental case also. So the accusative is the karma, and then this is karta. So this all three are, three factors in bringing about action. So all three are involved in bringing about. Thus, three are accepted in the performance of Nishkam Karma, Karma Sangra. So these are three accepted in Nishkam Karma. Karma Sangra therefore acts as an explanation of Karma Chodhana. So based on the Karma Chodhana, there is Karma Sangra. There's three things happen. I mentioned this example of of the thief. When a person, enters, you come to know that he's a thief. There is the object, the thief, the knowledge that he's a thief, and the knower, you come to know then these three karma chodhana, there is the impetus. Now you will do actions. Now, what are the actions? There are three actions, there are three things altogether. Sangraha, what is that? You will take some knife or a rod to hit him or attack him, instruments, and there is you are the karta, your action of running or chasing him, whatever it is. So like that, there is a karma sagra, therefore acts as an explanation of karma jana. Thus, the process of knowledge, the object of knowledge, jnanam, gyam, and the knower, parigyata, act as base for performance of nishkam karma. So they act as base. Prabhupada keeps it simple. Okay. Let's see Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary and then we will open the floor for questions. Knowledge, jnana, the object of knowledge, jnana, and the knower, jnata, are the three impulses of action known as karma chodhana. Bhaktivinoda Thakur still makes it more clear. There are three impulses. The instruments, karana, the object, karma, and the doer, karta, comprise the threefold basis of karma known as karma sangra. These are the threefold basis of karma. Whatever action a person performs has two states, inspiration, chodhana, and basis. So there are inspiration and there is a basis. The process that precedes any action is called chodhana. Inspiration is a subtle existence of action and it is faith that exists in the mind before the gross state of action manifests. So Prabhupada also follows, if you see in his commentary, he follows Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary. The stage that precedes action is divided into three parts. Whatever precedes before action, it is three parts. Jnanam, knowledge of the instrument of action. Gayam, the object of action. And then the knower of action, Parigyata. The external manifestation of action has three divisions. Karana, the instrument, karma, the object, and then karta. So the karma, as I'm mentioning, please don't confuse with gaya and karma as also because both are said to be object. Now you're taking the instrument, again we'll come back to the thief example. You're taking a rod and then you're doing chasing him, but that action is against certain object, the thief. So again, karma is done towards that. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the example. Take, for example, a student who picks up a book. In this action, there is knowledge of the instrument of action, the student's hand. This is the karanam. The knowable object of action, a book, and how to pick it up. And the knower, the student. The student is the knower. Then there is activity himself. These three combined are known as sangra. There is activity of reading the book. The student hand is the instrument, karanam. The book is the object, karma. And the student is the subject, karta. Okay. So, this is come here. This is some. This should have not been here. That's why I was confused. Okay. Yeah. 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 17. Uh, yeah. Oh, fine. Oh, 18 to 40 it is. 19 to 18 to 40. Okay, it is 18 to 40. Why it has come here, I did not understand. Okay, so any questions you have about this, what we discussed? Any questions, any clarifications? This is a very important verse and you have to understand this. So any clarifications? How deep, as you can understand how Karma Yoga is so subtle and deep, and how much deep is Bhakti Yoga. We might have never thought, all these three things are, inspiration for action, and all these three are, karma sangra, karnam, uh, karma and kartriti. Any questions, any clarifications you have? Anyone? Vinit Machadi also had raised her hand. Mataji, you had a question?
Uh, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Prabhu. No, Prabhuji, I wanted to answer the previous question which you had asked.
Okay, okay. Okay, fine. So I will stop here because time is up, one thing. And secondly, uh, whatever we discussed today is very much connected to the next verse also. But next verse, I will take it up because then, the discussion completes. It's just so. Let's see the next verse. Jnanam karma cha karta cha trivida guna bhedita prochayet guna sankhyaena yatavat shunu tanapi. Shunu, hear about the three types of knowledge, action, and knower. So there are now, Krishna is saying, Jnanam is in three types: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Jnanam karma cha karta. And the karma is also in three types: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And there is the karta, Guna Bhedita, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, which are described in the scriptures dealing with gunas. Tanyapi yathavat prochete guna sankhya. So this is analysis of Sankhya Vedanta, as he had done for 18.14. So again, we'll come to, in the previous verse, he had talked about the six elements, which he has reduced to three. The six he has reduced now to three: Jnanam, Karma, and Karta. And he is now Trivida Guna Bhedita. So there is what? There are three types of knowledge, three types of action, and three types of knowers, which are described in scripture dealing with gunas. Now let's look at this. There are in 18.18, there are six elements. In 18.19, Krishna says three. Elements in red are left out by Krishna because they can be joined or combined with other elements. So you can see there are these six. Parigyata and Karta is one. Karta and Parigyata. And Karanam and Geham. It's matter. And Parigyata and Karta are the same, doer. The person who is the doer and the person who is the knower is the same. Now please see the example. For example, a person can learn singing and sings the same. He's the knower or to sing and is singing. He's doing the singing. So they are the same. Gay and Karnam are dead matter, practically speaking. So object of knowledge, Geha, and the instruments of knowledge, these Krishna doesn't include because they are just dead matter. So we cannot transform dead matters. Dead matters, certain elements are made of certain things and the modes, and they are just the way they are. Krishna is talking these analysis from transformational perspective, and that is why he focuses on that which can be transformed. So they're just, so he's just speaking about, what is going to be transformation. So now in three verses, Krishna will speak of jnana in three modes: Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And then he'll speak of karma in Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, and karta in Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Now, how are they related to action? Jnana, karma, and karta. Jnana is first step in action. Only when I have knowledge, I will do something. For example, knowledge that chocolate is delicious. Then I go to mother, I want chocolate. Then the person goes and gets the chocolate. So jnana, karta, and karma are all three make things action unfold. So first there has to be gyan, that I know that this chocolate is delicious, and then there has to be a karta, doer, and he has to do the karma of going and getting the chocolate. So all these are there. That's why Krishna analyzes jnana, karma, and karta. So further there is jnana, karma, and karta till this. Then Krishna will further analyze buddhi, dhriti, and sukha. Buddhi is understanding for action, and there is determination for action, and there is sukha, fruit of action, that is happiness. Okay. So this we will now take it up in the next class. Okay. So thank you very, very much. Granthra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai. Wish you a happy Balram Purnima coming up tomorrow, and for the wonderful Janmashtami festival. So we'll have a 1 week break now. and we will resume next Monday. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.